let's talk about Apple's best charger and how they won't sell it to you. Well, at least not directly. For context, I'm talking about the charging cables and not the power adapters, because for a while now, Apple has been selling those no problem. The cable that I'm talking about today is Apple's version of the braided cable, which I must say is pretty long overdue. But since we have it, let's review it. Starting off with the texture. The texture I think is really nice and feels just about how other braided cables would feel in terms of the durability and just like how the fibers feel. For the best context here, I'm going to make a lot of comparisons to the standard chargers just because I feel like that's what we're really looking at in terms of how is this better than the regular charger that comes with your iPhone. Immediately, this cable feels like it's more durable than the standard charger, and it's possible that Apple thinks so too, because they didn't include the little collar that usually goes towards the end of the cable. I think the actual name for this is a strain relief band, but I'm not sure, so you leave me a comment if you actually know what it's called. The reason why I think this might be an indicator of better durability is because with the fibers on the braided cable, it's possible that they may not be worried about it fraying. And with this new cable, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen for a really long time. So if Apple doesn't sell you this cable, how are you supposed to get it? Well, right now it is only included in accessories for the Mac. So the only ways that you can get this cable currently are buying the Magic Mouse or one of the Magic Keyboard accessories, which makes this cable very expensive if you're getting it just for that, which by the way, I wouldn't recommend. Mainly because you can buy a cable that's pretty much just as good for way cheaper, and it's probably gonna be a lot longer. Because right now, the only size that this cable comes in is the standard charger size, which for a lot of people really just doesn't cut it, depending on how far away the outlet is from where you usually charge your phone. However, there are a couple things that I've noticed that might disprove this theory. The first of which being that the cable that comes on the HomePod is actually the first time that we saw this braided cable coming from Apple. I've observed that there is a strain relief band at the end of the cable where it plugs into the wall. I think that this is because they think that there might be some strain when people plug it in, and they're using the maximum length of the cable on the HomePod mini. The second thing that makes my theory about the strain relief band a little bit strange is that the cable that comes with the newer iPads also doesn't have this band. I'm not sure if Apple is thinking that there will be less strain on the cable with these devices like the iPad and the Mac accessories, so maybe that's why there's none on there? I'm thinking that a version of this cable will actually ship with iPhones eventually. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, but I think it'll come at some point. And when it does come with iPhones, I think there will be a band on there that may just add to the durability. Another thing that could be a problem for the older cables is that yellowing that happens over time. And I've actually noticed that this doesn't really happen as much with the braided cable. When I did my own little bend test with this cable and the old version, I feel like the quality of wire that they use is probably the exact same, but the coating does make it to where the braided version has a little bit more resistance. A huge advantage you get with the braided version of any kind of phone charger or anything like that is that the cable really doesn't stick to itself. Whereas looking at the rubbery texture on the older versions, you can find that when it's in your bag or some other place where you store all your cables, like a big drawer, you can find that a lot of them stick together and get tangled very easily. Even though I feel like this cable is pretty great, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're actually needing to get one of the accessories that it comes with. If you're interested in this cable, I would probably wait until it comes with iPhones, because then it will probably be sold separately for like $19 or whatever, and be exponentially cheaper than needing to buy it with an accessory. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in more tech videos, make sure to check out the rest of my channel.